Get a couple of packages in the mail, you're all excited, and that excitement turns to whoops. Find out what I'm talking about after the titles. Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider, the Miracle Outsider, here with a mail call gone wrong video, and nobody to blame but me on this one. I'm still kicking myself in the butt. As most of you, probably all of you watching this video know, 2 weeks ago I got the Flying Scotsman. The Miracle version, and all the controversies aside about the color being off or the smokestack being 2 millimeters too tall than it should be, what have you. It's a gorgeous loco. And I ran it with the best luxury coaches that I could. My Rheingold 1928s. But I intended all along to try to find some HO scale UK coaches that would go with it. I know they're out there because I've seen them on many videos. Most predominantly Rick David from Welchuffed Railways. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, you just really are like an encyclopedia of knowledge on companies, their makes, and even the HO. Do you know some HO scale UK cars that I could run with the Flying Scotsman? And you know, he gave me some suggestions, and then he sent me a couple of websites to look at. And the websites were great. They gave companies, model numbers, everything else. So I said, awesome. And I went to eBay, and I actually found them on American eBay. I didn't even have to try to find them at shops. And to be honest, I was actually going to be looking for these when I went to Getz. But I'm going to sidetrack myself too much here. So I went to eBay, and I saw these ads. I didn't type in the model numbers. I just typed in Lima, UK, British Railways, HO. You know, actually I typed that in, and then I used HO scale. And you see these ads here that I'm putting up on the screen, and you can see they say HO. Now what I should have done was looked up the model numbers they gave, because unfortunately they're not HO, they are 00. And so when I put them up with the rail, or with the Flying Scotsman, they're clearly oversized. And maybe not horribly. I'll do some close-ups here in a second and show you. I was really excited when they came in. I was like, cool, they're beautiful cars. I specifically wanted this color and livery. I don't even know if this color and livery are prototypical to anything the Flying Scotsman would have ever pulled, although I think in some of the videos I've seen where it's been out doing some heritage work, I think I have seen it with this maroon coloring, sort of this LMS coloring. So they're beautiful cars, but they are HO. In fact, they're bigger than the Greshly teak corridor coaches that I picked up from whatever. And, you know, yes, I could have probably boxed them up. Actually, the seller had a no returns policy. It's my own fault. I don't obviously know enough about Lima to know that if it's a silver box and it's UK, it's going to be 00, that their HO stuff is clearly marked HO. But even on the end of the boxes. But of course, that wasn't in the ads either. The boxes were there. If I knew more about Lima, and maybe I should have studied. So just a little bit of disappointment with that. But on the flip side, they're gorgeous coaches, which I'll show you in a minute, and they will go beautifully with my Mallard, although obviously I don't think the Mallard would have pulled these colors or liveries. So they're just sort of going to be non-prototypical, but they are beautiful cars. So let me give you a close-up and then come back with a final thought on all this. Okay, so here they are with the Miraculin Flying Scotsman, even with the dull, slightly darker shade. Still beautiful, though. But here's these cars. Now, I will tell you right now, first impressions is these are beautiful, beautiful coaches. I really do like them. They do have interiors. But anybody who follows me from the UK knows I always respond very favorably to this dark LMS sort of coloring, even though they are technically British railways. I absolutely love these. And from what I understand, reading about these, is that Lima released 3 types of coaches. They released basically what I assume is a first-class coach, since there's a 1 on the door there. And then I assume a second, third-class coach, and then the baggage. I assume that's a baggage coach. But they are very nice coaches. I'm very impressed with the detail in them. These were actually $30 each, but the gentleman accepted a $50 offer for the pair of them, and then $10 shipping. That's roughly what I would expect to pay. I mean, I tend to pay $30 to $40 for my lower end cheapo Pico passenger wagon, so it was not an absurd price for me. Now, maybe you go to a show in the UK and somebody's selling these for £5 or £10 each. I don't know, because these are these specific models, not the ones I thought they were, but based on the model numbers in the book, these are a little rare and harder to find. But they are very sharp. I do like them. There's nothing not to like about them, other than when you pull it back, they just, and maybe they don't even look that bad, but they clearly look a little oversized for the locomotive. But I'm going to go ahead and throw in a couple of running shots I took earlier as I was reviewing these the first time, before I realized that they did not look right and went back and started looking them up. Alright, so there is my mail call gone a bit wrong. This is all on me. First of all, I want to thank Rick David for all the information he passed on to me. It really was great. And my problem is, instead of looking specifically for model numbers, I just did a generic eBay search, hoping, I typed in Lima HOUK, and these came up. And the ad said HO, so I can't blame me. I obviously blame the person who sold, and I let them know. Maybe they didn't know any better, and I'm just, this kind of stuff, I'm more likely to get mad at myself than the seller. It's the old world. Let the buyer beware. It's on me, not the other person. And in the end, it's not a big loss. Joyce was trying to make me feel better earlier. She's like, they're still nice cars and you can still use them. Don't beat yourself up about it. But I do get mad when I make a silly mistake that obviously other people would have known. But I do plead that it's my first time trying to buy Lima, and I did not know their nomenclature nor their box coloring significance as well. I've now learned. I was going to look for the matching car in this set because these say British Railways on them, which is why I wanted them. The set I was actually after are, according to the site that Rick David gave me, they're actually mislabeled. They're called LMS when they should have been Midland Regional or something like that. But I have actually now found by looking up the correct model numbers instead of just Lima HO UK Rail, I have found at a very fair price 3 more cars again. But they do say LMS, and I don't think Flying Scotsman ever worked for LMS, so they would be not prototypical. But again, it's not prototypical that it would be running on my that the Flying Scotsman would be running on my layout. And so my layout, my rules. I really wanted this color. I didn't want the green GWR or British Railway colors, which I probably could have found. I really just do like this maroon coloring, and it will stand out on my layout. The green might have stood out as well, but I like the color of these coaches, whether they say British Railways or LMS on them. Had I used the information he gave me and looked up the actual model numbers, I wouldn't have made this mistake. I just started with a wider topic, and again, in my defense, the ads did say they were HO, but had I actually Googled the model numbers 3512W and 35342W, it specifically says on the Lima historical page they were 00. Yep, there you have it. So on that note, you will be seeing me again very quickly in the same shirt because I had another mail call today. That's going to be another First Impressions video. So until I see you again in a few minutes, if you watch them back to back, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains. Take care, everybody.